Thailand is where con man and tax cheats.
I'm sure y'all cheat on your taxes, Mom.
Well, not so badly that we have to leave the country.
In earnest, what is there to say about the White Lotus, Thailand, or Season 3? Well, I do find it rather surprising with the volume of criticism it has received when drawing direct comparison to Seasons 1 and 2. I see it as not meaningfully different, merely more of the same, albeit while acknowledging some slippage in quality and control with respect to the writing and pacing. Mike White's The White Lotus has always been interested with exploring first-world problems through the lens of its protagonists on vacation within elaborate and enchanting settings.
What happens in Thailand stays in Thailand.
Like a compelling advertisement for travel, the cinematography, the colour, and for the most part the music sells a package that is a potential vacation in Thailand.
This place is insane. We should always live like this.
I'm so happy. All my babies all together.
I hope you enjoy Thailand.
At least, and preferably with fewer bullets and poisonous seeds flying about the place.
Go big or go home, right?
In a goddamn body bag.
The clash of classes remains a constant, the interweaving of narrative strands between the affluent and self-indulgent Ratliff family and the humbler qualities exhibited by the locals, specifically the security guard named Gaitok, and in his pursuit of love and belonging, perhaps in the wrong places. Speaking of the pacing, the mundanity, the lack of urgency has always been a staple of this franchise. I've never particularly loved the style nor the senselessness often coated with excessive cynicism and a lack of any satisfying payoff. To this point, and if focusing upon the conclusive episode alone, I was not entirely disappointed, although it did leave me spent, not all that interested in any further seasons. Where The White Lotus maintains interest is with the performances and to the possibility of what happens next with individual narrative strands, to the moral dilemmas that arise, and to the resulting intrigue as certain individuals must decide upon one route or the other. Will they do the right thing, the wrong thing, or land somewhere in between and dependent on the moral compass of the viewer? This might be the most interesting aspect to the narratives on offer. The realization of consequence has always proven an obstacle, whether these generally unlikable characters eventually receive their comeuppance. But that is reflective of reality. There isn't always a happy ending, or at least a healthy resolution. With reference to the performances, there has been some contention or criticism for Jason Isaacs' Durham Carolinian accent. While I have travelled around the South, I won't claim to be an expert on different Southern dialects, but I thought he was meant to be Australian upon finishing the first episode. Initially it just didn't seem quite right, but then seemed to settle, where he improved, where it felt more natural on the ears, and as the season progressed.
Am I implicated?
You're going to prison.
Prison? I would rather die.
I fully acknowledge that might just be me adjusting, or that he became more comfortable based on the chronology of shooting the scenes, but this wasn't the first time Jason Isaacs has tackled a Southern dialect. It reminded of a certain Civil War movie I had encountered from 2014, when he played General John C. Breckinridge in The Field of Lost Shoes.
The Federals will come, and soon. Inform my brigade commanders to concentrate the army and move at best speed towards Newmarket.
His descent into madness kept me watching, wondering how this all would play out. Other notable standouts included the welcome return of Natasha Rothwell as Belinda Lindsay and John Grease as Greg Hunt. Although it did feel at times like something was missing, notably the absence of Jennifer Coolidge. For me, The White Lotus was neither good or bad, or somewhat forgettable, but also had enough to retain interest and engagement. Speaking of Jason Isaacs and of 2014's Field of Lost Shoes, perhaps it is time I repaid that a visit, although I'm not entirely convinced that is a good idea.